Chosen one, God is funding your life right now. Don't worry. This message is meant to meet you exactly where you are, not by accident, not by chance, but by alignment. There are moments in life when the ground feels uncertain, when the future seems quiet or delayed, and when the mind begins to wonder how everything will work out. This is one of those moments where reassurance is not just comforting, it is necessary. You are being carried, supported, and sustained in ways that are often invisible to the logical eye. Even when you feel as though nothing is moving, provision is still flowing. Even when you doubt, support has not stopped. Chosen one, your life is not hanging by a thread. It is being funded, backed, and upheld right now. You are not late, you are not forgotten, and you are not on your own. What is meant for you has not missed you, and what is supporting you has not withdrawn. This is not about blind optimism, but about recognizing that there is an order at work beyond fear. Your breath, your ideas, your resilience, your ability to still stand after everything you've faced are proof that you are being sustained. Chosen one, you are allowed to release anxiety about survival and replace it with trust in continuity. What supports you did not start today, and it will not end tomorrow. Before you go any further, stay present with this message until the very end, because each layer builds on the last, and something here is meant to unlock clarity for you. Take a moment to ground yourself and open your awareness, and as you listen or read, allow the words to settle deeply rather than rushing past them. In the comments, write your warmest wishes and the number 144 as a symbol of alignment, completion, and conscious intention, focusing your thoughts on desires coming into form and energizing the universe toward outcomes that resonate with your highest good. This moment of engagement is not about superstition, but about intention, attention, and participation in your own unfolding. Chosen one, when intention meets focus, something shifts internally first, and that inner shift eventually shapes the outer experience. Now, chosen one, press the hype button, like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's start. Chosen one, understand this clearly. Funding does not always arrive as money alone. Support comes in timing, in protection, in redirection, in closed doors that save you from future pain, and in unseen help that prevents what you never even realized was approaching. There are situations you did not fall into because something intervened quietly. There are losses that were actually safeguards. When you look back honestly, you can see moments where things should have collapsed, but didn't. That is not coincidence. That is continuity. Chosen one, your life has been kept on course even when your mind felt lost. You have been preserved through confusion, fatigue, and emotional strain. The fact that you are still here, still seeking meaning, still growing, is evidence of ongoing provision. There is a difference between panic and preparation, and you are being moved out of panic and into preparation. When you worry excessively, you assume responsibility for outcomes that were never meant to rest solely on your shoulders. Chosen one, you are not required to control every detail to be supported. Your role is to remain responsive, aware, and willing. Support increases when resistance softens. This does not mean giving up effort. It means letting go of the belief that everything depends on strain. You are learning how to move with life rather than against it. That learning phase can feel uncomfortable, but it is not a sign of lack. It is a sign of upgrade. Chosen one, there are seasons where provision is quiet, because something deeper is being built within you. Stability is not only external, it is internal. You are being strengthened in discernment, patience, and self-trust, so that when expansion arrives, you can hold it without fear. Many people receive abundance and lose themselves in it because they were never grounded beforehand. You are being grounded first. This grounding is part of the funding. Emotional regulation, clarity of values, and inner steadiness are assets that will support you longer than any temporary gain. You are being equipped, not deprived. Do not underestimate how much is happening behind the scenes. Conversations are taking place that involve your name. Opportunities are aligning that require the version of you that is still forming. Paths are being cleared in ways you cannot yet see. Chosen one, delay is not denial. It is alignment. What arrives too early can damage you. What arrives on time sustains you. Trust that timing is part of the support system surrounding your life. You are not being tested to see if you will fail. You are being trained to see if you will trust. Chosen one, your needs are known, even the ones you struggle to articulate. There is an intelligence to life that understands nuance, context, and timing better than fear ever could. When you feel tired of holding everything together, that is your signal to rest, not to give up. Rest is also funded. Recovery is also supported. You are allowed to pause without everything falling apart. In fact, some things only come together when you stop forcing them. As you move forward, remind yourself daily that you are not surviving by luck. You are being sustained by order. You are being guided by alignment. You are being backed by something greater than momentary circumstances. Chosen one, release the narrative of constant struggle and replace it with the understanding of ongoing provision. Even now, even here, even in uncertainty, your life is being funded. You do not need to panic. You need to stay open, stay grounded, and stay present. What supports you has not failed, and it will not fail now. Chosen one, there is a deeper layer to this understanding that unfolds when you stop measuring support only by what you can immediately touch or count. Much of what sustains your life operates quietly, almost anonymously, shaping outcomes without asking for recognition. When things align just enough for you to keep going, when the right thought enters your mind at the right moment, when you avoid a decision that would have led you into unnecessary struggle, that is not randomness. That is guidance expressed through subtlety. Chosen one, the quiet forms of support are often the most consistent, because they do not rely on dramatic shifts to prove their presence. They work steadily, ensuring continuity rather than spectacle. You may have noticed that even during times of pressure, something within you refuses to collapse completely. There is a core part of you that stays alert, observant, and capable of adapting. That inner steadiness is not accidental. It has been cultivated through every experience you thought might break you, but didn't. Chosen one, resilience is not something you were forced to develop as punishment. It was something placed within you as preparation. Every time you adjusted instead of giving up, every time you recalibrated instead of quitting, you were accessing a reserve that had already been accounted for in your life's design. There are moments when the mind demands proof before trust, yet life often asks for trust before proof. This is not to trap you, but to grow you. Chosen one, certainty built only on visible evidence is fragile, foe. When conditions change, certainty collapses. But trust built on inner knowing remains steady, even when circumstances fluctuate. You are being guided toward a form of confidence that does not require constant reassurance. That confidence becomes the foundation upon which lasting provision rests. Without it, even abundance can feel unstable. With it, even simplicity feels sufficient. Pay attention to how often solutions arrive after you stop obsessing over the problem. This is not coincidence. Mental strain narrows perception, while calm expands it. When you soften your grip, you allow clarity to surface. Chosen one, this is part of how your life is funded. Through clarity at the right moment. The right word spoken at the right time. The right choice made without overthinking. The right pause taken before an unnecessary mistake. These moments may seem small, but they compound over time, shaping a path that is far more stable than you realize. There is also support in redirection. Sometimes what feels like a setback is actually a correction. A door closing can prevent years of misalignment. A delay can spare you from consequences you were not meant to carry. Chosen one, not everything that stops you is against you. Some interruptions exist to protect your energy, your focus, and your future. When you begin to view redirection as a form of provision, resistance softens and understanding deepens. You stop fighting life and start reading it. Chosen one, you are learning that pressure does not always mean urgency. You do not have to rush to prove your worth or your progress. Your value is not dependent on constant output. There are seasons for movement and seasons for integration. Both are funded. Both are necessary. When you rest without guilt, you allow your system to recalibrate. When you reflect without judgment, you gather insight that sharpens your next steps. This rhythm is not a flaw, it is a design. You may sometimes wonder why others seem to advance faster or receive more visible rewards. But comparison distorts perception. You are not running the same path, carrying the same lessons, or building the same foundation. Chosen one, your pace is intentional. What you are developing now will support you later in ways that shortcuts never could. What looks slow is often deep. What looks quiet is often strong. You are not behind. You are becoming stable. As this understanding settles, something within you begins to relax. You start making choices from clarity rather than fear. You begin trusting your instincts instead of second-guessing them. You stop interpreting every challenge as a threat and start seeing it as information. Chosen one, this shift is crucial. When fear drives decisions, energy leaks. When clarity guides decisions, energy consolidates. That consolidation is part of how your life continues to be sustained. Remain attentive, but not tense. Remain responsible, but not burdened. You are not carrying life alone. You never were. Chosen one, the support surrounding you is not fragile. And it does not disappear when you question it. It adapts, adjusts, and continues. The more you align with that truth, the more natural stability becomes. Your life is not waiting to fall apart. It is being held together, even now, even here. Chosen one, as this message continues, it is important to speak about the internal shifts that occur when you truly accept that your life is being supported. Acceptance changes behavior. When you stop bracing for collapse, you stop living in constant defense mode. Defense mode drains energy, clouds judgment, and creates exhaustion without progress. Chosen one, you were not meant to live as though everything is about to be taken away. You were meant to move with awareness, not fear. Once fear loosens its grip, your mind becomes more spacious, and in that space, better decisions are made. Notice how many of your worries are rooted in imagined futures rather than present realities. The mind often projects lack before lack actually exists. This projection creates tension that feels real, even when the threat is not. Chosen one, you are being invited to return to the present moment, where support is already active. Right now, you are breathing. Right now, you are receiving information meant to stabilize you. Right now, you are still here. These are not small details. They are the baseline evidence of ongoing provision. There is also a lesson here about worthiness. Many people unconsciously believe they must earn the right to be supported. They exhaust themselves trying to prove value, productivity, or goodness. Chosen one, support is not a reward for perfection. It is a condition of being alive and aligned. You do not need to suffer to deserve stability. You do not need to struggle endlessly to justify rest. When you internalize this, a heavy burden begins to lift. You start choosing from self-respect rather than self-punishment. As this burden lifts, your perception sharpens. You begin to see options that were always there but obscured by stress. You hear your inner guidance more clearly because it is no longer drowned out by panic. Chosen one, intuition thrives in calm environments. When you slow down internally, even if life around you remains busy, you give intuition space to speak. This guidance is one of the most reliable forms of support you have. It nudges you away from harm and toward alignment without force. You may also notice a shift in how you relate to challenges. Instead of reacting immediately, you pause. That pause is powerful. In it, you reclaim choice. Chosen one, reactions are often rooted in old patterns, while responses are shaped by present awareness. The more you respond rather than react, the more you conserve energy. Conserved energy becomes clarity, and clarity becomes momentum. This is not about avoiding difficulty, but about engaging with it intelligently. Another aspect of being funded is learning discernment. Not every opportunity is meant for you, and not every request deserves your energy. Chosen one, saying no when necessary is not rejection. It is alignment. When you protect your time and focus, you protect your future. Overextension weakens stability, while discernment strengthens it. You are learning to invest yourself where returns are sustainable, not where they are draining. There will be moments when uncertainty resurfaces. This does not mean you have failed to understand or trust. It means you are human. Chosen one, trust is not the absence of doubt. It is the decision to move forward despite it. Each time you choose to stay grounded rather than spiral, you reinforce a new internal pattern. Over time, that pattern becomes your default state. Stability stops feeling temporary and starts feeling natural. You are also learning that support does not remove responsibility. It enhances it. When you know you are not alone, you take responsibility from a place of empowerment rather than fear. Chosen one, empowered responsibility leads to growth. Fear-based responsibility leads to burnout. Pay attention to how you feel when you take action. If it feels heavy and resentful, fear may be driving it. If it feels steady and purposeful, alignment is present. As you integrate these insights, your life begins to organize itself differently. Priorities shift. Distractions lose their pull. You become less reactive to external noise and more anchored in your own sense of direction. Chosen one, this internal reorganization is a form of funding. It reduces wasted effort and channels energy where it matters most. You are not being rushed into chaos. You are being guided into coherence. Hold on to this understanding as you move through your days. When doubt arises, return to what you know rather than what you fear. You are not abandoned. You are not overlooked. You are not unsupported. Chosen one, your life continues because it is meant to. And as long as it continues, support continues with it. Chosen one, as you continue to integrate this awareness, you may start noticing subtle but meaningful changes in how life responds to you. This is not because you suddenly became more deserving, but because you became more receptive. Receptivity is often misunderstood as passivity, but it is actually a state of readiness. Chosen one, when you are receptive, you recognize opportunities without forcing them. You sense when to move and when to wait. This balance is part of how stability is maintained over time. There is a quiet confidence that begins to form when you trust that your needs are not ignored. This confidence does not announce itself loudly. It shows up in calm decisions, measured responses, and the ability to stay centered even when circumstances fluctuate. Chosen one, calm is not weakness. Calm is mastery. It allows you to observe rather than immediately react, and in observation, you gain leverage. You see patterns, motives, and outcomes more clearly. That clarity protects you. You may also notice that certain people, situations, or habits begin to fall away naturally. This is not loss. It is refinement. Chosen one, what drains you cannot remain in your life if you are meant to sustain something greater. Release often happens without confrontation or drama when alignment deepens. What no longer fits simply loses its hold. Trust this process. Space is being created for what can truly support you. Another important realization is that pressure to constantly explain yourself diminishes. When you trust your inner direction, you stop needing external validation. Chosen one, not everyone will understand your pace, your choices, or your boundaries. That does not mean you are wrong. It means you are no longer outsourcing your sense of direction. Internal alignment replaces external approval. This shift strengthens your foundation more than any outward recognition ever could. There is also a growing respect for your own energy. You become aware of how thoughts, conversations, and environments affect you. Chosen one, this awareness is protective. When you choose what you engage with more carefully, you conserve mental and emotional resources. Conservation is not selfishness, it is sustainability. You cannot pour endlessly without replenishment. Learning when to step back is part of being supported. You may find yourself less drawn to chaos and more drawn to simplicity. This does not mean your life becomes small, it becomes efficient. Chosen one, simplicity allows focus, and focus allows depth. Depth creates results that last. When you stop scattering your energy, progress becomes more visible and more stable. You move forward without burning yourself out. Challenges will still arise, but they will feel different. Instead of overwhelming you, they inform you. You start asking better questions rather than panicking. What is this showing me? What adjustment is needed? Chosen one, curiosity replaces fear when trust is present. Curiosity opens pathways that fear closes. Through curiosity, solutions emerge organically rather than through force. There is also an emerging patience within you. You stop rushing outcomes and start trusting process. Chosen one, patience is not waiting idly. It is staying engaged without anxiety. It is continuing to act responsibly while releasing the need to control results. This patience stabilizes your nervous system and sharpens your perception. From this state, you make wiser moves. As your internal state stabilizes, external stability follows naturally. This does not always happen immediately, but it happens reliably. Chosen one, inner order precedes outer order. When your thoughts align, your actions follow, and when your actions align, your circumstances respond. You are not forcing life to cooperate. You are cooperating with life. Carry this forward with gentleness toward yourself. Growth does not require harshness. Awareness does not require self-criticism. Chosen one, you are learning, adjusting, and evolving exactly as you need to. There is no rush. There is no threat. There is only a steady unfolding, supported by an order that has not forgotten you. Chosen one, at this stage of the message, it becomes important to speak about trust as a living practice rather than an abstract idea. Trust is not something you either have or don't have. It is something you exercise daily through small decisions. Each time you choose calm over panic, patience over impulse, and clarity over fear, you strengthen that practice. Chosen one, trust grows through repetition. It is built when you look back and recognize how many times things worked out in ways you could not have planned. Reflection turns experience into confidence. You may begin to notice that your relationship with uncertainty changes. Instead of treating uncertainty as a threat, you start treating it as open space. Open space allows new possibilities to enter. Chosen one, certainty can be limiting when it is rooted in old assumptions. Uncertainty, when met with grounded awareness, becomes creative. It invites solutions that did not exist before. When you stop demanding immediate answers, better answers arrive. Another shift that occurs is a deeper sense of responsibility for your inner state. Not responsibility rooted in blame, but responsibility rooted in choice. Chosen one, you realize that while you cannot control everything that happens, you can influence how you interpret and respond to it. This realization is empowering. It moves you from feeling at the mercy of circumstances to feeling engaged with them. Engagement creates momentum without force. There is also a quiet strengthening of boundaries during this phase. You become more aware of what disrupts your focus and what restores it. Chosen one, boundaries are not walls, they are filters. They allow what supports you to enter and keep what destabilizes you at a distance. As your boundaries become clearer, your energy stabilizes. When energy stabilizes, progress becomes sustainable. You may find that you are less reactive to external opinions. Praise feels pleasant, but no longer defines you. Criticism feels informative, but no longer crushes you. Chosen one, this neutrality is a sign of inner balance. When you are not constantly swinging between extremes of validation and doubt, your nervous system calms. Calm allows consistency, and consistency builds results over time. There is also a growing awareness of timing. You start sensing when to act and when to wait. This is not hesitation. It is discernment. Chosen one, acting too early can be as disruptive as acting too late. When you honor timing, you reduce friction. Things move with less resistance because they are aligned. This alignment is part of how your life continues to be supported without unnecessary struggle. You may notice an increased sense of gratitude, not forced or performative, but natural. Gratitude arises when you recognize support that was previously overlooked. Chosen one, gratitude stabilizes perception. It does not deny challenges, but it contextualizes them. When challenges are seen within a larger picture of support, they lose their power to overwhelm. Gratitude shifts focus from scarcity to continuity. As this awareness deepens, you begin to trust yourself more. Self-trust is one of the most important forms of support you can have. Chosen one, when you trust your ability to adapt, learn, and recover, fear loses its grip. You stop doubting your resilience. You stop questioning whether you can handle what comes next. This confidence is not arrogance. It is familiarity with your own strength. You also start understanding that progress is not always linear. There will be pauses, recalibrations, and moments of stillness. These are not failures. They are part of the rhythm of growth. Chosen one, rest and movement are partners, not opposites. When you honor both, you maintain balance. Balance allows you to continue without burnout. Hold this perspective as you move forward. Let it inform how you plan, how you respond, and how you treat yourself. Chosen one, your life is not being held together by constant effort alone. It is being supported by awareness, alignment, and timing. The more you recognize this, the more natural stability becomes. You are not struggling toward safety. You are growing into it. Chosen one, as this message reaches its final phase, it is meant to settle into you rather than excite you. What truly lasts does not arrive with intensity alone. It arrives with clarity and calm. By now you may sense that the reassurance you were looking for is not external validation, but inner steadiness. Chosen one, steadiness is the clearest sign that support is real. When panic fades and urgency loosens, something more reliable takes its place. That reliability is what carries you forward long after motivation fluctuates. You are beginning to understand that being supported does not mean being spared from effort. It means that your effort is no longer wasted on constant worry. Energy once spent on fear is now available for presence, learning, and deliberate action. Chosen one, this redistribution of energy changes everything. You do not need more force. You need more alignment. When effort is aligned, even small actions compound into meaningful progress. There is also a quiet acceptance forming around the idea that not everything needs to be resolved immediately. Some answers mature over time. Some paths reveal themselves only after you take the first step without full certainty. Chosen one, this does not make you reckless, it makes you responsive. Life is not asking you to leap blindly, but to move attentively. Attentiveness is enough. From it, clarity grows. You may notice that you no longer feel the same pressure to rush into outcomes just to feel safe. Safety is no longer something you chase. It is something you cultivate internally. Chosen one, when safety becomes internal, external fluctuations lose their power to destabilize you. You adapt more smoothly. You recover more quickly. You trust that even if adjustments are required, you will meet them with awareness rather than fear. Another important realization is that support often arrives proportionally to responsibility. As you grow more grounded, you are trusted with more influence over your own direction. Chosen one, this is not a burden. It is recognition. Recognition that you can handle more nuance, more choice, and more freedom. With that freedom comes the ability to shape your life consciously rather than reactively. You may also find yourself simplifying your goals, not because you are settling, but because you are refining. Chosen one, refinement brings focus. Focus brings depth. Depth brings fulfillment. You begin to value what sustains you over what merely impresses. This shift protects your energy and ensures that what you build can last. Longevity matters more than speed. As you carry this understanding forward, remember that moments of doubt may still appear. They are not signs that everything you've learned has disappeared. They are reminders to return to what you know. Chosen one, returning to center is a skill. Each time you practice it, it becomes easier. Over time, stability becomes your default state rather than something you have to fight for. Let this message close, not with urgency, but with assurance. You are not being rushed, tested, or abandoned. You are being sustained, guided, and gradually strengthened. Chosen one, your life is not dependent on constant vigilance. It is supported by continuity, awareness, and alignment. You do not need to worry yourself into safety. You are already being carried forward, step by step, moment by moment, exactly as you need to be. Chosen one, this continuation is meant to deepen what has already settled within you, not to introduce urgency or new pressure. Chosen one, this message may end here, but the calm strength it awakened will continue to walk with you.